Okay, so I've been working on these reduction prints. I've done printmaking before, but this is the first time that I've ever done any kind of carving or woodblock print. It's been an experience, but basically what I did was I started with a photo that I had reduced down to, let's see, 4 values. Okay, so the lightest value is the white of the paper, obviously, and then 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th value will be the darkest value, which I haven't gotten to yet. So basically, when I started, okay, you can imagine, I didn't have any video of this, but this is my matrix or my template that I've started with. It had wood and all the dark places here, and this is a mirror image, obviously, because when you print it, it's the opposite way, but it had wood in all these places. So you can see, like, right in here, all of this, all that was the highest layer of wood. Okay, so that's what I started with, and then I took my I had a couple chisels and some gouges and just a couple of carving knives that I got from my grandpa, and I've just been kind of messing around with it, seeing what I can do, and so now I'm at my 2nd value. Okay, so now I'm getting, not only do I have that 1st value, I have the 2nd value, and I've got lots of prints you can see in various colors. Another one. I'll just show one more. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of show the process. I am by no means an expert at any of this, so this is all just a big experiment for me. Just trying to figure out a new process for printmaking. So anyway, just know that none of this is probably the right way of doing it. It's just the way that I'm doing it, because this is what I have. So I have 2 speedball brayers, okay, just regular hard rubber brayers. All right, this one is my ink brayer, this one is my clean brayer, and you'll see why I have both of them. I have just a cheap clipboard. This is where I set up my ink. Just a ream of paper, and then all my inks that I'm using are just these Blick block printing inks, and it says that they're good for all different types of printing, linoleum, vinyl, foam, rubber, and woodblock printing. Okay, non-toxic, easy cleanup. They are water soluble, I believe. I'm not sure 100% about that, but they are really easy to clean up with just water, and I just use like a scrub brush to clean it up. So anyway, that's what I got so far. So I'm just gonna kind of show how I do this. So anyway, I'm gonna do orange, just because I haven't done a 2nd layer with orange yet, and we'll see what I get. So I just put it over here so you can see it a little bit better. Take this, and I put a generous amount of ink up here. Because I want to make several prints. And I know this is kind of a weird setup, but I don't really have a lot of space right now to work, so I'm just kind of working in this tiny workspace here. And my garage on top of my camper. Okay, so I got that. You want to make sure too that your hands are really clean when you actually get to printing. Otherwise, you're going to transfer that ink from your fingers onto your paper. I'm not quite there yet, so I'll make sure they're clean here in just a second. It's non-toxic. You may not want to do that, but whatever, I don't care. Okay, so my clean brayer. Also, just a little note, the ink and this water don't mix very well, so when you do clean it, make sure that everything's dry before you go to print again. Okay, so that way the ink will work correctly. So just go right up into the ink like this, get a little bit on my brayer, and then I come down here. And this works a lot better if you're on a flat surface. I'm usually doing it over here, but you can't see that very well. So. And what I do, you can hear it, I'm going choo, 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 choo. If you just roll back and forth like this, you're only inking like half of your brayer. So what you need to do is you need to roll it and pull up like so. Okay, I might have gotten a little bit too much ink on there, but it's alright. The wood soaks it up too. It's a lot different than printing on foam or linoleums. It's porous, so it's going to sink in there more so than those other materials. So, anyway, alright. I've been inking them up over here. And what I do is I just try and make sure that I get really good coverage on everything. And the difference that I've noticed, like I said, this is my first woodblock print, but I've done several lino cuts and done a little bit of intaglio printing, and I've done foam prints. The difference between this and like a lino cut is that our matrix is it has a lot more imperfections because the wood, you know, it's just not as clean and flat of a surface, but you get a lot more variation in your prints, which I kind of like. I think it looks really cool. And it's harder to ink with the more reduction that you do. So like I said, this is my, I don't know what the proper terms are, but this is my second phase. So my medium value, and you see I've got a lot less that's actually going to be printing. So I've got a little bit of ink in these different spots, so I've just been taking like a paper towel and just kind of taking it and rubbing it out. Because some of the time they'll show a little bit in those different spots, but other than that, this one's about ready. So I've been doing just a test print too with this layer like that, okay, of each one of the colors that I've done. So you can see I've got 4 different ones here of that as well. So there's a better way of doing this too, but I'm just kind of lining it up and sort of eyeballing it. Like I said, I am no expert, but I'm just kind of doing what I can with what I have. So you see, this is my ink brayer, clean brayer. Alright, so I just put the paper right on top here. I have been using just, I've got this manila folder. Taking this because it tends to make, kind of help protect the paper a little bit. And basically what we're doing is we're creating a big stamp. Okay, this is our own stamp. don't have to use this. I've done several without using this as well. So you can just roll right on the paper. You might get some creases and things in the paper. That doesn't bother me, but I'm sure there's a lot of like hardcore printmakers that would probably frown upon it. I don't know. I don't know the etiquette, so anyway, I'm just doing this for fun. So there we go. There's one of the prints in orange. Looks kind of nice. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and ink it up, and I'm going to print another one on top of yellow for my first layer. So we'll do that. Yellow. Ink this thing up again. Each time that you print at least for me, I've had to re-ink it because there's not enough ink still left on my matrix for it to apply to my second print without it just being really super light. So at least in my tiny experience, that's what I've found. Yeah. Okay. Oh, do you want me to come up? I can. Do you need me? Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Bedtime. Okay. I got that ready to go. Alright. See if this helps at all. Turn this light off here. Maybe. Oh yeah, that helps a little bit. Okay, here we go. Alright. So I take this and man, it's hard to see. It's like washed out, but anyway. My papers tend to curl a lot too, so I'll just take these and I just kind of run it right along the edge here. Just like that before I print. Line it up down there in the corner. So. Right. And like I said, you can put something over the top of these if you want to. I don't know, there's probably a better way of doing this, but this is how I'm doing it. Like I said, I am not an expert. I am an art teacher though, so I have a little bit of experience, just not with this. There it is. Orange on yellow. It's hard to see. Like I said, it's kind of washed out, but looks good in real life. There we go. Okay. So that's it. Then I go clean it and I get a different color. So then once I'm done with all of my prints with this value, I'm going to cut it down further, and that'll be my darkest value, and then I'll be done with this set of prints. So anyway, that's my method for reduction printing with woodblock. Like I said, it's my first time doing it. I've never done it. Take it for what it is.